2023, I assessed me and realized physical touch is my number one love language for me. And that includes even a hug. But I told my first lesson to stop touching me because my little one would feel the tension between us. And she was the one who kept the hugging continuing for him and me. She would come up to us and say, "Family hug." And I would do it, even if I didn't want to. So winter 2023, when she said, "Family hug," I leaned down to her and I said, "Little one, I'm sorry. You can hug your dad and you can hug me, but you have to hug us individually." I remember that night, he flung his body onto mine. He said, "She wants a family hug, let's do it," to force the family hug from me. And I crossed my arms and I started crying. And I said, "I'm serious. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want your hugs, and even if it's with our little one in between." I vowed to start hugging myself that night. I went to bed. I needed a hug so bad, so I tried it. But I wasn't in the best of spaces at the time, mentally, in my mind. And the only thing I could do was put my hands over my heart to just hug that area to heal it for me. I literally had tried to take both my arms and hug me, and I could not do it, even though I tried. So I took my hands and I hugged my heart while laying in the fetal position like a baby that night. And every night when I went to bed, I tried a little more over and over again to hug myself instead. And I felt the hug getting a little bigger for me every night. First it was the heart, then it was the shoulders, and I remember thinking, "Oh wow, this is sweet. The hugs are getting bigger, even if it's just a hug for me inside." Suddenly I realized my own hands started to reach around towards my back, and I thought, what a good feeling. And I kept at it every night. It didn't matter where I was sleeping, I would hug myself, since physical touch is my love language inside. And I couldn't even masturbate because I was in such a sad space, even though I knew that to me, that's physical touch for my body and life. So I stuck it out with a hug, which is why when I hug myself now, it's a big one. And I can literally wrap my arms around me, and it feels like I'm hugging myself. And it helps me to see how far I've come from this tiny little hug for myself to this really big one. And it's a humbling feeling for me. It's something basic, but it's truly felt connected and helped me. Which is why even at times when I cry, I might even hug myself where one would think, "Oh, what? She's such a cutie pie." I'd sit here and think, "Yeah, sweet as fucking pie. Do you know how long this took me to get to this point of hugging myself, having appreciation for myself?" Now sometimes I do this funny thing where I hug myself so deep, I'll make it look like I'm hugging someone else or making out with someone else, but it's me. You just have to give yourself this love language for yourself first inside. Because there are 4 others. Acts of service. Do you like when someone brings you a coffee, cooks or folds your laundry? That's acts of service, affection of love. Receiving gifts is another one. If you like giving gifts to others too, well, then maybe receiving gifts might be a love language for you. Words of affirmation, like "You look beautiful today," "I'm proud of you," "I'm here for you," and to support you in every way. That's the love language of words of affirmation. Quality time, like watching a movie, going for a walk outside, mindfully being with a person or just you. Spend quality time with yourself if that's the love language for you. And you can mix them up. So mine would be physical touch mixed with quality time, maybe even touching, could even be cuddling. just mindfully being in the arms with the person I want to be with for me. So I do enjoy giving gifts, but for me, it's not the number one love language. I'd rather be going for a walk in the woods and spending quality time, working together side by side. Acts of service, you will surely catch me making someone I love a meal, offering them a drink or a coffee, whatever you need. I'd get it for you if I have the means. So acts of service I feel strongly about as a love language to express my love to people. Words of affirmation are not my number one at times. When you call me beautiful, I have rolled my eyes. In the past, I've said, take it back, in this animated voice, although I do appreciate the compliments to me. I know when I started losing weight and people would notice it, they would tell me I look really pretty. Sometimes I would cat hiss, say lies. Why do you say such silly things to me in my life? And I'd laugh. But then one day a man I knew, he looked me in the eyes and he said, Carolyn, I can't believe it. I said, what? He said, your face has changed so much, it's shining through. And for the first time, I didn't say anything negative or defend myself. I just looked at him and said, you know what's funny? This isn't Botox, fillers, or anything in between. This is just me mindfully choosing me. There's nothing I did to physically change my face, besides use hyaluronic acid instead of store-bought moisturizers, you see. But I said, I guess this is what happens when you are making good choices in your life for you. I smiled and we just looked at each other. And I said, thank you. He had seen the transitions of my life over time. And at times I probably didn't look him in the eyes or kept my head down the whole time. So I did vow when I received compliments that I would just say, thank you. I worked really hard on this for me. I had fallen back with that at times. I've written myself notes to remind myself to build myself up inside. Because self-love does make me shake. So I have to heal that side of me so I can share it with others. So the way I yell at my friends, you can do it. I know all those things I do will benefit me even more if I do it to myself. And I think of it like infinity, like the figure 8. Give to myself, comes back tenfold to you from me. I've bought myself coffee a couple times. That's me buying myself a gift. That's where I try that love language on myself. Words of affirmation, I continue to try those every night. That's why I've written on the mirrors in my apartments to help me to read and see it daily. So I would eat those words. Quality time, well, that's me going for a swim or a walk, reading, doing something I enjoy, just being in a good space, a good mentality. I enjoy being with others. I do get a sense of recharge from it. I always think there's no extrovert, introvert personality. You can recharge yourself in the opposite way. And hanging out with people is how I recharge me. It fills up my heart bucket, which is why I've tried to fill my heart bucket when I'm alone at night. I've left my friends after a night of being together and I could see my heart literally beating out of my chest from the joy of being around people I love with me. I have physically filled up my heart bucket. My chest was beating so hard internally. So find the love language for you and give it to yourself, and others will come through. But do try to give it to yourself first and more every day. You'll feel a sense of appreciation for yourself, and it makes it easier in every way. It's a remolding of the brain, because we are all moldable and have the ability to change. Change is just hard, that I do see, but doing the same is even harder to me. And we only have one life. What are we going to do, the same thing every day and night? Eventually, it's the choose your hard. It's a hard choice either way, if you ask me. Like anxiety. Hard if you have it, and hard if you struggle with it. But what's harder, being alone or with a group with anxiety? And that's when I'll just tell myself, This may not be anxiety, it could be excitement. It's just a different feeling, yet sort of the same feels, if you ask me. Heart racing, not sure what to do with the energy within. Hard if you stay, hard if you go with friends. Now I laugh, knowing damn well what was really hard was the change. But that's what builds courage. Change doesn't ever end. Change and growth. It's just a weird feeling, because I don't think people talk about it enough in life. That you don't have to do the same old for yourself every day of your life. Early 2000s, there was a college commercial, I remember it well. And they said, you keep doing the same old, you're gonna get the same old. I just remember it so vividly, so I will keep trying that for me. Not everyone is out to get you in this world. There are people here for lessons, benefits, and growth, and reasons, I believe. And I know people have been here for me. My acts of service is words of affirmation to you, because I can't pay people in money, but I can pay you in words. And you will see it in my eyes, how I can build up my self-esteem. And I hope that you can recognize the work that you do too. Have courage to fight the battles inside and out as well. Physical touch, words to you, acts of service, giving gifts or quality time. Figure out which one is yours for you. If you're partnered, try it with them. Ask them, what's your love language? And try it out with them. Bring them a coffee. Make them a meal. Hold their hand. Ask them to watch a movie with you, or whatever it may be that will increase the feelings between you and somebody. Do something you always do, but smile at them and say, hey, this is an act of service. You know why? Because I know you and I love you. So that love can shine through in a love language for them to see. And I thank you again for being here and listening to my poetry. Since physical touch is my number one act of service for me, feel a soul hug, because I appreciate you unconditionally. And I love you.